All right, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. We are live on Bear Sheet Farm with your host, Levi Khan. Make sure everything's working. Nope. Oh, you can hear me. Hello. Hey. We're having a good time. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome into the Jungle Jargon. I'm Whitman. Um, and welcome to Shalom to Nicole TV. Go ahead, Jonathan. Keep talking about it if you want. Anyway, today we will be reading Judges chapters 11 through 16. We try to read, which is fine. Being said, you might just skip what's going here. Take off the camera and I'm scare you look over the month there a little bit. A few minutes. I know the audio seems strange to me too. I don't know what's going on. We're going to have to take a look at it later. As long as it works adequately for right now. Sorry about that. My apologies. But this equipment almost ready. Let them know you've got it covered. Yeah. Get the coffee made. I know that. They know that. Stop. All right. Audio is a little rough, huh? Huh. Go figure. All right. Well, hopefully you can make this out as I start to read. And just let me know. I'll be looking in the side chat every now and then like I normally do. All right. Judges chapter 11. Now Jephthah the Gileadite was a mighty man of Baalah, and he was the son of an harlot. And Gilead begat Jephthah. And Gilead's wife bare him sons, and his wife's sons grew up, and they thrust out Jephthah and said unto him, Thou shalt not inherit in their father's house, for thou art the son of a strange woman. Then Jephthah fled from his brethren and dwelt in the land of Tob, and there were gathered vain men to Jephthah, and went out with him. And it came to pass, in about the time that the children of Ammon made war against Israel. And it was so that when the children of Ammon made war against Israel, the elders of Gilead went to fetch Jephthah out of the land of Tob, and they said unto Joseph, and they said unto Jephthah, Come and be our captain, that we may fight with the children of Ammon. Welcome to Shalom Ukraine Hayden. And verse 7 here of chapter 11 of Judges. And Jephthah said unto the elders of Gilead, Did not ye hate me and throw me out of my father's house? And why are ye come unto me now when ye are in distress? And the elders of Gilead said unto Jephthah, Therefore return again to thee now, that thou mayest go with us, and fight against the children of Ammon, and we are head over the inhabitants of Gilead. And Jephthah said unto the elders of Gilead, If ye bring me home again to fight against the children of Ammon, and the Lord deliver them before me, shall I be your head? And the elders of Gilead said unto Jephthah, The Lord be with us against us, if we do not so according to thy word. And Jephthah went with the elders of Gilead, and the people made him head and captain over them. And Jephthah uttered all his words before the Lord in Mizpah. And Jephthah sent messengers unto the king of the children of Ammon, saying, What hast thou to do with me, that thou art come against me to fight in my hand, or in my land? And the king of the children of Ammon answered unto the messengers of Jephthah, because Israel took away my land when they came up out of Egypt from Arnon, even unto Jabbok and unto Jordan. Now therefore restore those lands again peaceably. And Jephthah sent messengers again unto the king of the children of Ammon, and said unto him, Thus saith Jephthah, Israel took not away the land of Moab, nor the land of the children of Ammon. But when Israel came up from Egypt and walked through the wilderness unto the Red Sea, and came to Kadesh, then Israel sent messengers unto the king of Edom, saying, Let me, I pray thee, pass through thy land. But the king of Edom would not hearken thereto. In a like manner they sent unto the king of Moab, but he would not consent, and Israel abode in Kadesh. Then they went along through the wilderness, and compassed the land of Edom and the land of Moab, and came by the east side of the land of Moab, and pitched on the other side of Arnon, but came not within the border of Moab, for Arnon was the border of Moab. And Israel sent messengers unto Sihon, king of the Amorites, the king of Heshbon, and Israel said unto him, Let us pass, we pray thee, through thy land into my place. But Sihon trusted not Israel to pass through his coast. But Sihon gathered all his people together and pitched in Jahaz and fought against Israel. And the Lord God of Israel delivered Sihon and all his people into the hand of Israel, and they smote them. So Israel possessed all the land of the Amorites, the inhabitants of the country, of that country. And they possessed all the coasts of the Amorites from Arnon even unto Jabbok, and from the wilderness even unto Jordan. So now the Lord God of Israel hath dispossessed the Amorites from before his people Israel. And shouldest thou possess it? Wilt not thou possess that which Chemosh thy God giveth thee to possess? So whomsoever the Lord our God shall drive out from before us, them will we possess. And now art thou anything better than Balak the son of Zippor, the king of Moab? Did he ever strive against Israel, or did he ever fight against them, while Israel dwelt in Heshbon and her towns, and in Aurora and her towns, and in all the cities that be along by the coast of Arnon 300 years? Why therefore did ye not recover them within that time? Wherefore I have not sinned against thee, but thou doest me wrong to war against me. The Lord the judge be judged this day between the children of Israel and the children of Ammon. Sounds coming through here. There? Yep. Okay. Got it kind of. Okay, I think I'm on verse 28 now. Hopefully it sounds better, folks. Howbeit the king of the children of Ammon hearkened not unto the words of Jephthah, which he sent them. Then the Spirit of the Lord came upon Jephthah, and he passed over Gilead and Manasseh, and passed over Mizpah of Gilead, and from Mizpah of Gilead he passed over unto the children of Ammon. And Jephthah vowed a vow unto the Lord, and said, If thou shalt without fail deliver the children of Ammon into mine hands, then it shall be that whatsoever cometh forth of the doors of my house to meet me when I return in peace from the children of Ammon shall surely be the Lord's, and I will offer it up for a burnt offering. So Joseph, sorry about that, folks. I'm really getting stuttered here. Verse 32. So Jephthah passed over into the children of Ammon to fight against them, and the Lord delivered them into his hands. And he smote them from Aurora even till thou come to Minnith, even 20 cities, and unto the plain of the vineyards with a very great slaughter. Thus the children of Ammon were subdued before the children of Israel. And Jephthah came to Mizpah unto his house, and behold, his daughter came out to meet him with timbrels and with dances, and she was his only child. Beside her he had neither son nor daughter. And it came to pass when he saw her that he rent his clothes and said, Alas, my daughter, thou hast brought me very low, and thou art one of them that trouble me, for I have opened my mouth unto the Lord, and I cannot go back. And she said unto him, My father, if thou hast opened thy mouth unto the Lord, do to me according to that which hath proceeded out of thy mouth. For as much as the Lord hath taken vengeance for thee of thine enemies, even of the children of Ammon. And she said unto her father, Let this thing be done for me. Let me alone 2 months, that I may go up and down upon the mountains and bewail my virginity, I and my fellows. And he said, Go. And he sent her away for 2 months, and she went with her companions and bewailed her virginity upon the mountains. And it came to pass at the end of 2 months
that she returned unto her father, who did with her according to his vow which she had vowed, and she knew no man, and it was a custom in Israel that the daughters of Israel went yearly to lament the daughter of Jephthah, the Gileadite, 4 days in a year. And that's all 40 verses of Judges chapter 12. Okay, I'm going to go over this a little bit because there's a number of theories. I'll go over two of them. One, of course, is that he literally had to sacrifice her, make a human sacrifice, and he couldn't go back. He had made the vow. Two, one of the other theories is that she had to stay a virgin and therefore stay unmarried all of her life. Um, yeah, but Samuel wasn't around yet. They're jungle jargon. I go, I go with the literal human sacrifice. Jephthah was kind of an idiot. He got a lot of things done for Elohim. Don't get me wrong. God can use dummies. He was vain. He hung with vain men. That being said, he didn't think a lot of times, and I mean, I don't blame him for not wanting to help at first when they drove him out of the area. That's a normal human reaction, and that's not necessarily bad. But he agreed to do it. But he didn't really, from what I can tell and have read on him in commentaries, didn't have a real grip on critical thinking and going deep into prayer. He was just kind of okay. So that's just kind of my take on it. Literal. All right, Judges chapter 13. And the children of Israel did evil again in the sight of the Lord, and the Lord delivered them into the hand of the Philistines 40 years. And there was a certain man of Zorah, of the family of the Danites, whose name was Manoah, and his wife was barren and bare not. And the angel of the Lord appeared unto the woman, and said unto her, Behold, now thou art barren and bearest not, but thou shalt conceive and bear a son. Yeah, but I need my infection pill. Okay, verse 4. Now therefore beware, I pray thee, and drink not wine or strong drink, and eat not any unclean thing. For lo, thou shalt conceive and bear a son, and no razor shall come on his head. For the child shall be a Nazarite unto God from the womb, and he shall begin to deliver Israel out of the hand of the Philistines. All right. When the woman came and told her husband, saying, A man of God came unto me, and his countenance was like the countenance of an angel of God, very terrible. But I asked him not whence he was, neither told he me his name. But he said unto me, Behold, thou shalt conceive and bear a son, and now drink no wine nor strong drink, neither eat any unclean thing, for the child shall be a Nazarite to God from the womb to the day of his death. Obviously, we're talking um, Samson. What a guy. Verse 8. Then Manoah entreated the Lord and said, O my Lord, let the man of God which thou didst send come again unto us and teach us what we shall do unto the child that shall be born. And God hearkened to the voice of Manoah, and the angel of God came again unto the woman as she sat in the field. But Manoah her husband was not with her. And the woman made haste and ran, and showed her husband, and said unto him, Behold, the man hath appeared unto me that came unto me the other day. And Manoah arose and went after his wife, and came to the man, and said unto him, Art thou the man that speakest, or spakest unto the woman? And he said, I am. And Manoah said, Now let thy words come to pass. How shall we order the child, and how shall we do unto him? And the angel of the Lord said unto Manoah, Of all that I said unto the woman, let her beware. She may not eat of anything that cometh of the vine, neither let her drink wine nor strong drink, nor eat any unclean thing. All that I commanded her, let her observe. And Manoah said unto the angel of the Lord, I pray thee, let us detain thee until we shall have made ready a kid for thee. Hold on, folks. Thank you. I gotta swallow this infection pill from my mouth, folks, and Deb's out here getting coffee ready, so I'll take it off as soon as we're ready. Verse 16. And the angel of the Lord said unto Manoah, Thou though detain me, I will not eat of thy bread, and if thou wilt offer a burnt offering, thou must offer it unto the Lord. For Manoah knew not that he was an angel of the Lord. And Manoah said unto the angel of the Lord, What is thy name? That when thy savings come to pass, we may do thee honor. And the angel of the Lord said unto him, Why askest thou thus after my name, seeing it is secret? So Manoah took a kid with a meat offering and offered it upon a rock unto the Lord, and the angel did wondrously. And Manoah and his wife looked on. For it came to pass, when the flame went up toward heaven from off the altar, that the angel of the Lord ascended in the flame of the altar. And Manoah and his wife looked on it, and fell on their faces to the ground. But the angel of the Lord did no more appear to Manoah and to his wife. Then Manoah knew that he was an angel of the Lord. And Manoah said unto his wife, We shall surely die, because we have seen God. But his wife said unto him, If the Lord were pleased to kill us, he would not have received a burnt offering and a meat offering at our hands, neither would he have showed us all these things, nor would at this time have told us such things as these. And the woman bare a son, and called his name Samson, and the child grew, and the Lord blessed him. And the Spirit of the Lord began to move him at times in the camp of Dan between Zorah and Eshtaol. And that is all 25 verses of Judges chapter 13. Let me look at the chat. Anyway, I'm going to make it clear what I believe or what I don't believe. I don't believe that, like a lot of people do, that this was Yeshua, Jesus. I think it was an angel. And they took sacrifices to the Lord, to Yedhevah, blessed be his name. They couldn't receive it themselves. That angel made it clear, that Malach. Um, yeah, sure. Hold on. I did, but I'm almost out. You could come out and do that if you could, please. Deb. I'll go ahead and cover the camera again if you do. All right, chapter 14. And Samson went down to Timnath and saw a woman in Timnath of the daughters of the Philistines. And he came up and told his father and his mother, and said, I have seen a woman in Timnath of the daughters of the Philistines. Now therefore, get her for me to wife. Well, we're running back and forth here. Then his father and his mother said unto him, Is there never a woman among the daughters of thy brethren, or among all my people, that thou goest to take a wife of the uncircumcised Philistines? And Samson said unto his father, Get her for me, for she pleaseth me well. But his father and his mother knew not that it was of the Lord that he sought an occasion against the Philistines, for at that time the Philistines had dominion over Israel. Then went Samson down and his father and his mother to Timnath, and came to the vineyards of Timnath, and behold, a young lion roared against him. And the Spirit of the Lord came mightily upon him, and he rent him as he would have rent a kid, as he had nothing in his hand. But he told not his father or his mother what he had done. And he went down and talked with the woman, and she pleased Samson well. And after a time he returned to take her, and he turned aside to see the carcass of the lion, and behold, there was a swarm of bees and honey in the carcass of the lion. And he took thereof in his hands, and went on eating, and came to his father and mother, and he gave them. Thank you, Deb. Came to his father and his mother, and he gave them. And they did eat, but he told not them that he had taken the honey out of the carcass of the lion. So his father went down unto the woman, and Samson made there a feast, for so used the young men to do. And it came to pass, when they saw him, that they brought 30 companions to be with him. And Samson said unto them, I will not put forth a riddle unto you. If ye can certainly declare me within the 7 days of the feast, and find it out, and I will give you 30 sheets and 30 change of garments. But if ye cannot declare it me, then shall ye give me 30 sheets and 30 change of garments. And they said unto him, Put forth thy riddle, that we may hear it. And he said unto them, Out of the eater came forth meat, and out of the strong came forth sweetness, and they could not 3 days expound the riddle. And it came to pass on the seventh day that they said unto Samson's wife, Entice thy husband, that he may declare unto us the riddle, lest we burn thee in thy father's house with fire. Have ye called us to take that we have? Is it not so? And Samson's wife wept over him, and said, Thou dost but hate me, thou lovest me not. Thou hast put forth a riddle unto the children of my people, and hast not told it me. And he said unto her, Behold, I have not told it my father, nor my mother, and shall I tell it thee? And she wept before him the 7 days while their feast lasted. And it came to pass on the seventh day that he told her, because she lay sore upon him, and she told the riddle to the children of her people. And the men of the city said unto him on the seventh day, before the sun went down, What is sweeter than honey, and what is stronger than a lion? And he said unto them, If ye had not plowed with my heifer, ye had not found out my riddle. And the Spirit of the Lord came upon him, and he went down to Ashkelon, and slew 30 men of them, and took their spoil, and gave change of garments unto them which expounded the riddle. And his anger was kindled, and he went up to his father's house. But Samson's wife was given to his companion, whom he had used as his friend. Okay, all 20 verses of chapter 14 of Judges. Let's get into this a little bit now that I'm getting a little more focused. There was deception on both ends. There was threatening, blackmail. The Philistines were greatly guilty of that. Also, at the same time, however, the Israelites were being disobedient. They hadn't done what they were supposed to do, and that's why they were under the bondage of the Philistines. So there was sin going around, just all the way around on both sides, and God was using it to His glory, to His will. Even though Samson really shouldn't have been with a Philistine woman, God used it. His parents didn't know it. I'm sure he didn't know it. So sin all the way around. Um, that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I don't like being held to a thing like let's play this game and you owe me this if I win. Blah. I've always told people, no, I don't think so. Not going to happen. I have done a couple of things in the past with pool games when I was a young man, and I held them to their word, and I got quite physical. Oh, let's play double or nothing, that kind of crap. Card games, pool games, and I don't like getting in that now. Not that I ever did. I think it's stupid. I guess to make a long story short, to make this very simple, um, don't get yourselves in the position where your back is to the wall. Use a little bit of EQ here, equilibrium quotient, or CS for common sense. Because if I don't agree to something, I may do one of two things. One, I may play, and if say I don't really play cards these days. I don't play pool anymore. Heck, I'm out in the middle of the woods. But if I did, I do one of two things. Either one, look, I'm just here to play, take it or leave it. Or I just may say, no, we're not going to do that. And I won't play. Even at my older age, I can do it. I can get very persuasive in a very angry manner, and I don't like getting that way. This is for young, this is for being young and dumb. And there's a lot of animosity on both sides, obviously, here too. So, that being said, folks, let's move on to chapter 15, shall we? But it came to pass within a while after, in the time of wheat harvest, that Samson visited his wife with a kid. And he said, I will go in to my wife into the chamber, but her father would not suffer him to go in. And her father said, I verily thought that thou hadst utterly hated her, therefore I gave her to thy companion. Is not her younger sister fairer than she? Take her, I pray thee, instead of her. And Samson said concerning them, now shall I be more blameless than the Philistines, though I do them a displeasure. And Samson went and caught 300 foxes, and took firebrands, and turned tail to tail, and put a firebrand in the midst between two tails. And when he had set the brands on fire, he let them go into the standing corn of the Philistines, and burnt up both the shocks and also the standing corn with the vineyards and olives. Then the Philistines said, who hath done this? And they answered, Samson, the son in law of the Timnite, because he had taken his wife and given her to his companion. And the Philistines came up and burnt her and her father with fire. And Samson said unto them, though ye have done this, yet will I be avenged of you, and after that I will cease. And he smote them with hip and thigh with a great slaughter, and he went down and dwelt in the top of the rock Etam. Then the Philistines went up and pitched in Judah, and spread themselves in the high. And the men of Judah said, why are ye come up against us? And they answered, to bind Samson are we come up, to do to him as he hath done to us. Then 3,000 men of Judah went to the top of the rock Etam, and said to Samson, knowest thou not that the Philistines are rulers over us? What is this that thou hast done unto us? And he said unto them, as they did unto me, so have I done unto them. And they said unto him, we are come down to bind thee, that we may deliver thee into the hand of the Philistines. And Samson said unto them, swear unto me that ye will not fall upon me yourselves. And they spake unto him, saying, no, but we will bind thee fast and deliver thee into their hand, but surely we will not kill thee. And they bound him with 2 new cords, and brought him up from the rock. And when he came unto Lehi, the Philistines shouted against him, and the Spirit of the Lord came mightily upon him, and the cords that were upon his arms became as flax that was burnt with fire, and his hands loosed from off his hands. And he found a new jawbone of an ass, and put forth his hand, and took it, and slew 1,000 men therewith. And Samson said, with the jawbone of an ass, heaps upon heaps, with the jaw of an ass have I slain 1,000 men. And it came to pass, when he had made an end of speaking, that he cast away the jawbone out of his hand, and called that place Ramoth Lehi. And he was sore athirst, and he called on the Lord, and said, thou hast given this great deliverance into the hand of thy servant, and now shall I die for thirst, and fall into the hand of the uncircumcised? But God clave an hollow place that was in the jaw, and there came water thereout. And when he had drunk, his spirit came again, and he revived. Wherefore he called the name thereof Enhakkore, which is in Lehi unto this day. And he judged Israel in the days of the Philistines 20 years. That's all 20, verses of chapter 15 of Judges. Well, a lot of going back and forth there, huh? Yeah, I'm in favor of the biblical Israel here too. Don't get me wrong, jungle jargon, and welcome and shalom to Carolyn Gannon. But again, being disobedient, there's consequences that can be quite painful.
We just don't like Hebrew.
I'm talking the Israelites now of the book of the scroll of Judges of Shoptim Deb. I'll do one more chapter like it reads on my title, and I'll get into talking a little bit about why I and Deb are a little worked up. And anyway, I'll take my due responsibility. Anyway, chapter 16. All right. Then went Samson to Gaza, and saw there an harlot, and went in unto her. See, again, it's disobedience that pollutes the land, ladies and gentlemen. It's right in the Torah. And it was told the Gazites, saying, Samson is come hither. And they compassed him in, and laid wait for him all night in the gate of the city, and were quiet all the night, saying, in the morning, when it is day, we shall kill him. And Samson lay till midnight, and arose at midnight, and took the doors of the gate of the city and the 2 posts, and went away with them, bar and all, and put them upon his shoulders, and carried them up to the top of an hill that is before Hebron. And it came to pass afterward that he loved a woman in the valley of Sorek, whose name was Delilah. Oh, yeah. Verse 5. And the lords of the Philistines came up unto her and said unto her, entice him and see wherein his great strength lieth, and by what means we may prevail against him, that we may bind him to afflict him. And we will give thee, every one of us, 1,100 pieces of silver. And Delilah said to Samson, tell me, I pray thee, wherein thy great strength lieth, and wherewith thou mightest be bound to afflict thee. And Samson said unto her, if they bind me with 7 green withs that were never dried, then shall I be weak and be as another man. Then the lords of the Philistines brought up to her 7 green withs, which had not been dried, and she bound him with them. Now there were men lying in wait, abiding with her in the chamber, and she said unto him, the Philistines be upon thee, Samson. And he brake the withs, as the thread of tow is broken when it toucheth the fire, so his strength was not known. And Delilah said unto Samson, behold, thou hast mocked me and told me lies. Now tell me, I pray thee, wherewith thou mightest be bound. And he said unto her, if they bind me fast with new ropes that never were occupied, then shall I be weak and be as another man. Delilah therefore took new ropes and bound him therewith, and said unto him, the Philistines be upon thee, Samson. And there were liars in wait abiding in the chamber, and he brake them from off his arms like a thread. And Delilah said unto Samson, hitherto thou hast mocked me and told me lies. Tell me wherewith thou mightest be bound. And he said unto her, if thou weavest the 7 locks of my head with the web. And she fastened it with the pin, and said unto him, the Philistines be upon thee, Samson. And he waked out of his sleep, and went away with the pin of the beam, and with the web. And she said unto him, how canst thou say, I love thee, when thine heart is not with me? Thou hast mocked me these 3 times, and hast not told me wherein thy great strength lieth. And it came to pass, when she pressed him daily with her words and urged him, so that his soul was vexed unto death. Oh man, can I relate to that? Not with Deb. Okay, she's much better than that. It's just women. Oh boy. I was young once. Verse 17. Then he told, I mean, some things are just universal. What can I say? Verse 17. Then he told her all his heart, and said unto her, there hath not come a razor upon my head. For I have been a Nazarite unto God from my mother's womb. If I be shaven, then my strength will go from me, and I shall become weak and be like any other man. When Delilah saw that he had told her all his heart, she sent and called for the lords of the Philistines, saying, come up this once, for he hath showed all his heart. Then the lords of the Philistines came up unto her, and brought money in their hand. And she made him sleep upon her knees, and she called for a man, and she caused him to shave off the 7 locks of his head, and she began to afflict him, and his strength went from him. And he said, the Philistines be upon thee, Samson. And he woke out of his sleep, and said, I will go out as at other times before, and shave myself. And he wist not that the Lord was departed from him. But the Philistine took him, and put out his eyes, and brought him down to Gaza, and bound him with fetters of brass, and he did grind in the prison house. Before I continue on to verse 22, I believe that he had his eyes burnt out with hot rocks. Some believe that they were actually, the Philistines literally cut him out. Either way, his eyes were done. Okay. Um, so, what a hard way to learn a lesson. That has to suck. I already know what the story is, and I'm sure all of you do too. But let's continue on. God's word is it's inspirational, and it's holy. It's kadosh. All right, let's continue. Verse 22. Howbeit the hair of his head began to grow again after he was shaven. Then the lords of the Philistines gathered them together for to offer a great sacrifice unto Dagon their god, and to rejoice. For they said, our God hath delivered Samson, our enemy, into our hand. And when the people saw him, they praised their God. For they said, our God hath delivered into our hands our enemy, and the destroyer of our country, which slew many of us. And it came to pass, when their hearts were merry, that they said, call for Samson, that he may make us sport. And they called for Samson out of the prison house, and he made them sport, and they set him between the pillars. And Samson said unto the lad that held him by the hand, Suffer me that I may feel the pillars whereupon the house standeth, that I may lean upon them. Now the house was full of men and women, and all the lords of the Philistines were there. And there were upon the roof about 3,000 men and women that behold while Samson made sport. And Samson called unto the Lord and said, O Lord God, remember me, I pray thee, and strengthen me, I pray thee only this once. O God, that I may be at once avenged of the Philistine for my two eyes. And Samson took hold of the two middle pillars upon the house. Give me a second.
Andrew Willow. To accept, press 1. To send a voicemail.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Hello, Kent.
Okay. Hey, can I call you back in a little bit? I'm writing it.
Okay, a little bit. I'm going to be out of the area, so
Okay, I'm gonna.
we could just try again tomorrow night if you like.
Sounds good, because I'm doing a live stream right now on YouTube. So.
Okay, very good. I'll talk to you later.
Okay.
Good night.
Yeah. Good night. All right. Verse 29, And Samson took hold of the two middle pillars upon which the house stood, and on which it was borne up, of the one with his right hand, and of the other with his left. And Samson said, Let me die with the Philistine. And he bowed himself with all his might. And the house fell upon the lords and upon all the people that were therein. So the dead which he slew at his death were more than they which he slew in his life. Then his brethren and all the house of his father came down and took him, and brought him up, and buried him between Zorah and Eshtaol in the burying place of Manoah his father, and he judged Israel 20 years. That's all 31 verses of chapter 16, Shaftim, Judges. All right. Sorry about that. That's not that gentleman's fault. I've known him for 40 years now. That being said, folks, we called each other by that's his original name from birth. We have the same first name. My adopted legal name is the same name as his. First name, that is. But he did me a lot of good and got me out of a pickle when I was a juvenile at 17 years old, 40 years ago. He helped out with that to make it look good for juvenile court. So we're brothers in Christ, in the Mashiach, ladies and gentlemen. That's why I thought I'd better answer him, and I was getting distracted again. I was but that being said, how do I say that? It's been a good day for the most part. I told you last night that we lost, as in a chicken, a young hen that's not in laying mode yet. She's around 6 months old. She got loose. Well, as I was putting things away last night or tonight and checking on things, there she was. They don't go too far from their home. She was right under the pen of where she lives, and I let Deb know about it. And she's pretty slick at getting away, even with my net, my fish net. And Deb went out there and made a valiant effort to get her when it was dark, and she was somehow getting away, even though she was, they're supposed to be blind in the dark. And I got really upset. And Deb was going up the slope with her bionic hip and her bionic knee, and it was scaring me because I was willing to let her fall right on me. It's a steep slope, but it got a little bit out of hand, and I didn't mean to be that way. So I don't know what to say. Um, and we were still worked up when I started this live stream. I probably should have waited a few more minutes, but I think everything's good now. I shouldn't have gotten as irate as I did. Um, I have this odd feeling that she's probably bedded down halfway up that slope, for the night, and hopefully nothing. We'll get to that future laying hen, and we can get her hopefully tomorrow. I don't know. I have had loose chickens. I have gotten about every one of them, I think, except for this one. She's she's proving to be special. She's very good at what she does with evade and escape, and that's neither on Deborah, I guess. What can I say? I don't. Anyway, I don't want to see Deb get hurt. Um, and here's the thing. I have no problem for the most part going up that slope, and even I have problems with it. Now when it gets dark, I have cataracts, and I'm like, man, if I go up there, not only is the chicken going to get away, but worse yet, I could, Deb and I could go flying down there together, and we both get hurt. Okay, so now you know the situation. Please pray that we keep that chicken, that we get her safe, ladies and gentlemen. A future laying hen, she's healthy. I could see it. Nothing's wrong with her. She obviously foraged today. She probably drank water on the other side of the road, with the ditch. She has a good water stream, and she's doing fine. But there are predators out here, groundhogs and badgers and God knows what else. There's coyotes, and I don't, that. How many thousands of eggs could that be that we lose potentially, and that we can give to others? We do give away our eggs frequently. A dozen here, a couple dozen there, and it bothers me. And we have had, we were very successful with our homesteading in Florida until we got hijacked with a conspiracy, and we got totally Jewed. This Jew boy got Jewed, and Deb had it just as bad as I did. In some ways worse over her children. Not legally, that's where I came in. Thank God I had to deal with it. And, here, we're starting to kind of figure out the terrain, and it's a different environment, and there's a whole lot of things going on that are different now from 2019. And it's been tough. It's been hardships here, but slow but sure, we seem to have some things going. And I don't, just losing one potential laying hen could be devastating. And yeah, owls too. But I don't want that to happen, folks. And I want that hen. I mean, we went and incubated that hen out of how many? And we have a bunch of roosters that we're going to be butchering in a few months from now. And just losing, I lost a rooster 2 days ago. It died, and that goes. It just goes with the territory, but it irks me to no end. And in some ways, we're almost like the pioneers. You make it or break it out here. Okay, so I'm sure not going into the system asking them for any help. No way. Not no way. So now you know that situation. Okay, I think it was Craig Hayden who asked me how I was doing. Well, I think I have one pill left to take for my mouth, for my goons and mouth oral infection, and it's doing much better. And I think I can hold out until I have all my teeth pulled coming up on the 15th of September. That being said, folks, it was rough. It was rough dealing with it, but I feel fine now. I'm not brushing my teeth anymore. Not with bristles or toothbrush. What I do now is with my non-fluoride toothpaste, Brush Buddies, and that is I take it, a certain amount and swish it out and all that. Because I was doing the opposite. I was really brushing hard on the goons and all that, like I was taught to do as a kid. And they're saying, don't do that, you can do more damage. So that being said, um, I think this will keep my infection away long enough. And they're going to give this oral surgery to me awake. What? What? Oh, I have 2 pills. Okay, 2 pills left. I've been taking them 3 times a day, once every 8 hours. Well, that's great that you have it for fun. We have fun out here. Don't get me wrong there, jargon, but when you're out here full time, it's not always fun. It can be really, really rough. I need to, just for shits and giggles, frankly, I need to maybe watch some more documentaries again, or rewatch them, or see some new ones. The ones who made America. all the, I'm not talking about the people in the 18 and 1900s that built big businesses like Rockefeller and them, but I'm talking the ones before, the real guys who were out there, and you either do or die, just so I can not feel so bad. I told him that, Deb. I said 2, I corrected it. But anyway, Jeremiah was a ball judge, was a good friend of mine. Um, but all those people that really made it and started the true grit of this country. And no, they didn't have any federal help either. What's his name that got attacked by a bear and he somehow lived through it and killed the bear? Um, but now back to the Bible reading. I don't know how many different series or movies or whatever there are on Samson. I know there's a lot, and I've watched like 4 of them. The one that comes to my mind the most is I watched it on VHS from back in 1997, so it had been out before then, and it was entertaining. It was actually pretty good, um, especially with the scenes of him and Delilah. And no, they didn't show everything. That's not what I'm talking about. But it gives me memories of the stupidity of me with women. When I was younger. Thankfully, I'm married to a good, faithful, Hebraic-minded woman. Um, and we have a life together. And then too, I'm watching some of these videos on some various channels where a lot of guys are saying, "Screw the dating scene. We've had enough, and we're definitely not getting married." With the women that you see going around today. What is going on here? So, I mean, I have some things to be thankful for. Um, it's tough out here, folks. And I'm not crying. I'm not whining. I'm not a guy who is a soy boy to do that. Um, I'm just telling you the way it is. And I'm older. I'm strong. I'm durable. But I'm not. I'm not 30 anymore. I'm not just 30 anymore. And I need recovery time. And when I first get up, it's a bummer. Well, we can't really afford them. We just try to eat meat products like ground beef and eggs and whatever more. I will do salads that we pick off the ground right off the homestead. People are raving about carnivore diet, but can be pretty expensive. Every now, yeah, we've taken B12 and stuff, um, but I don't have the money that I did when I was a professional athlete either. But we get enough eggs. Deb and I inhaled some scrambled eggs that she made up for us. So what? Oh, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 hours. Yeah, probably 3, 4 hours ago. I love sardines, and I want to get more of them. But we're really limited out here for 2 reasons. One, we don't have a vehicle. Two, we're not the richest people around. So we're learning, we're having to toughen up, and Buttercup's having to suck it up. Hmm. And that I want that hen back in that pen. I mean, whether it's red meat, whether it's chicken meat, I'm not, I'm pretty picky about when we go out and buy chicken. I do my best to try and be picky when we get sardines, but I want it to where you don't even have to do that. I don't trust what's in there. Long before mRNA and God knows what else, the lab made crap from William Henry Gates III, old Billy Ball. Even back many years ago before that, I mean, all the ingredients that you read, they can put stuff in there without putting in all the ingredients. They work around those rules and laws and whatever. And um, it's just so blatantly in front of us, folks. I mean, we have nations that won't accept our food on trade and imports and stuff. And the ones that do, they have our food in a section of their stores and give people label warning. This is America or whatever they put. I don't blame them any. Bobby Kennedy is not going to change anything, and I can see, I think, a lot like Donald Trump, he's also getting swayed over too. He's not as pure as he used to be. Not that either one of them were very pure in the first place, but so how's everybody else doing? I think I bitched along quite a bit here, but hey, I'm grateful. Deb and I ate really good, pure, at least compared anyway. The eggs from our hens that have been laying for a long time, and within a couple of months, I'm thinking we'll start sporadically getting more eggs from other hens that are like that one that's loose. Oh, hey, welcome at Shalom to Texas. But the ones that are like that, they're anywhere from 5.5 to 6.5 months old right now. And I want so many coming in that we can't keep up with it. Um, we're just doing our best, and we take our lives one day at a time. I get down like tonight. Later, I'll stretch myself out and do my push-ups, and sit-ups, and dips, and maybe do some air kicks. I don't know. We'll see. We just do what we can. Okay. I don't make a good wage. I don't make a wage. I'm self-employed. I'm not selling anything right now. That's for sure. Um, it is what it is, and you know, just pray that the Lord provides for us and what He sees fit, and it's up to Him, and that's the way I have to look at it. Um, so I read all the Judges earlier today too, and I'm glad for that. I've always liked the story of Samson. It's a good lesson to be learned. Thank God I didn't go through that. I got my hide handed to me when I was in the middle of sleeping on some woman's knees. Um, I could have very easily been there. God spared me. He spared me from BD. He spared me from a marriage where I could have been in jail because I wouldn't be able to pay off the rest child support or the lifetime pension called alimony. Praise the Lord that I don't have that. Um, yeah, yeah, but rice isn't the most healthy either. I mean, we eat rice and then we mix in other things with it when we do. Um, but this hen that's loose, man, I've never had a problem like this. Out of all the loose hens or roosters that I've had to chase after off and on throughout my years in life, this one is the grandmaster, and she's only 6 months old, and it's really getting to me. Um, I had all of them transferred, and I cleaned the pen yesterday, or was getting ready to. I had transferred into a brooder box in the barn, and she got out. I was just livid, which is normal for me, but Then last night I came to the conclusion and kind of thought, well, she's probably going to die out there, you know. I mean, it happened. And then earlier tonight, when it was still daylight enough, yet there she was underneath her home, which is typical. So pray that I can either grab her somehow, like I've done in the past with chicks, or I can maybe fishnet her. We need to get one of those, or a few of those, actually, Hoss. Um, yeah, we do. So I hope everyone else is doing all right. I mean, looking at the chat, you guys look like you're just having a good old time in here. That's the way I like it. I was able to go on somebody else's panel earlier for a little while into that teach. The channel is teach Yedhewahe, as in YHWH. I did a lot of listening, but I did some read my points and stuff. I got aggravated with this Gnostic guy who I think is just there to be a kid and argue, and and I get irritated with that ignorance. If you're going to go against the God of the Bible, at least read it. It's like me. I go against Talmud. You people know that. I go against Shulchan Aruch, Zohar, Kabbalah, rabbinical writings. And you know why? Because I've read it. I know what I'm talking about. I don't just let somebody else look at me and say, hey, this is bad and this is why. I mean, I'll let them say it, but then I have to check into it if I don't know what it's about. Yeah, I'm going to get some of them too, Hoss. But what's her name who was running the panel today? Kanisha. Uh, she did a very good job of being patient. My hats are off to her. I never would have put up with it for that long with that guy who called himself Screwed, Screwed. I don't know. Maybe he'll come to the truth one day. You always want that. I don't want to see anyone uh, not get saved. I know that most will not. I don't know what the stats are exactly, but when you have scriptures like Matthew 7, verses 13 and 14, it's obvious that the majority of the human population they don't make the right choice. But I hope that guy's not a part of it. I hope he comes to the light. Said, let's look something up here. Hold on, folks. I saw something else on Camp on Timmy from my home state. Mr. Burgundy, where are you? Well, we got something on Hillary Clinton and something on Tim Walz. You know, seen something recently, and I remember the whole thing when President Clinton had to come out live. He didn't have to, I suppose, but he did. People were different back then. It was 1998 when he admitted that he had an inappropriate relationship with Monica Lewinsky, and I don't know Jeffrey Epstein yet. That being said, folks, I actually sympathize for the guy. I thought to myself back then, 28 years ago, look what he has to wake up to. Yeah. And Monica was pretty hot looking in my eyes back then. She was in her 20s then. I mean, she doesn't look too bad. I shouldn't be talking like that. Anyway, let me get this shared. But, oh, that Hillary Rodham Clinton, man, she's something else. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's have a good laugh. Hopefully, I haven't seen it, but it should be all right, I guess.
The fastest way to try to end this war is for Trump to weigh in much more forcefully on Ukraine's side. Sadly, I don't think he will do that, Mike.
Shocker.
Whatever the hold that Putin has on him, whether it's the admiration he has for dictators, that he wants to be a leader like Putin, or the money that he's making from all these side deals, which very clearly there is a path back to Moscow.
Russia.
Or they have something on him, what the Russians call compromat, or it's a combination of all of that. He cannot bring himself to criticize Putin or to really take any lasting position of strength against Putin.
It was all bullshit.
And what do you think our founders would think about the current state of affairs? That's question one.
Yeah, look, I think they'd be appalled.
Yeah, I didn't see that one coming.
I think they would be worried because so many of them express their concerns about how best to construct a government that would avoid a return to a king or even a demagogue.
Better cut that shit out. It's getting old.
So I think they'd be bewildered. I think they'd be appalled. I think that George Washington would be heartsick over what he is witnessing today.
Yeah, I think that you're nuts. That's what I think.
All right. Actually, I don't know about George Washington. I think him, though, as well. I think Thomas Jefferson and them advised us to stay out of foreign affairs like that, from what I understand, but from the reading I've done on it. All right.
Every Raising Cane's chicken finger is cooked to order to perfection. Raising Cane's chicken fingers, one love.
To celebrate surviving in business for 10 years, I threw a company picnic. Food, games, prizes, and a...
It all began one ordinary day.
After Hennepin County filed its charges against Castro, a district court judge found probable cause to believe that he committed those crimes. The judge issued a nationwide warrant for Castro's arrest. Castro was taken into custody in Cameron County, Texas on May 29th.
You guys suck.
Just 4 days later, Governor Walz asked Governor Greg Abbott of Texas to extradite Castro to Minnesota. Yet, Castro is still not here to face justice.
Bullshit.
Governor Walz's office has repeatedly asked Governor Abbott's office for updates. Governor Abbott did not respond. Governor Abbott has withheld the warrant and held up Castro's extradition for nearly 3 months.
Good.
Therefore, this morning, my office filed suit asking the federal court in Texas to require Governor Abbott to sign the warrant to block
Don't get all choked up.
to sign the warrant and to block the Cameron County Sheriff from releasing Castro until Minnesota law enforcement can arrive there to physically transport Castro here to face the charges laid against him.
Later that same evening.
Well, first of all, I don't trust Tim Walz on anything, let alone something like this. But listen, while they're making demands, I got a demand of my own, and that is it's time for Minnesota to step up and repay the United States of America and Americans for all the fraud that they've committed in their state under federal programs.
Whoa!
And I will not respond to them at all until they step up and do what's right and they acknowledge their fault in the fraud that took place, and they fully repay the United States of America for the fraud they committed.
Mm-hmm. Stick that in your pipe and smoke it.
you feel that? Huh? Can you feel it?
Okay. Give me a second here, folks. Alrighty. Oh, here we are. Okay. What can you say? Even though I know there are a lot in the Uniparty and stuff like that, I really, at the same time, I also think there is genuine disagreements and very dislikes, strong dislike and hate for one another on certain, certain people, especially in specific areas. And I really do believe there is a genuine hatred between Walls and Abbott. No, I don't blame Abbott. I'm looking up, look, he doesn't even have the connection that I do. I mean, what I'm talking about there is that's Minnesota. I was born and raised there, and it just, I'm a Minnesotan in heart, even though I'm not officially and I hadn't been for a long time, and then I went back to being a Minnesotan for 16 months, I think, and that's where Deb and I got together and got married. And my hometown there, before I got, left high school and went to the Army, and it irks me to no end. And then that was in 2018. I always have people up there that I love and care for, and anyway. Then again, Trump doesn't have the guts, or he's in too much, or getting orders from his elite mommies and daddies, or whatever's going on. And I mean, Walls should have been in jail. Tim Ellison should have been in jail. Ilhan Omar, Jacob Fry. I don't know about Penny Flanagan, probably. How could the lieutenant governor not know what's going on? Come on, let's get real here. Like I said, now lately I haven't even been watching the channels that I'm still sub to, some of them, but I mean, good news, major arrests, like from Stephen Gardner. And I think he does. I think Stephen Gardner does a great job, don't get me wrong, but he's all smiles, smiley pie, and who the hell is that? I never heard of him or her, I mean, how is Ilhan Omar such a big wig, And how long do they have to do an investigation? The evidence is there in the straw with the DNA, and the money, fraud is there, and she's still walking around in tiny little Somalia in that Minneapolis area of the 5th congressional district. And it's just, I used to hang out in a lot of those areas. I grew up in a lot of small towns, hick towns and stuff, but during the middle 80s, when I was in my rebel years, in the Rosemount area, which is one of the suburbs of Minneapolis. You got Rosemount, Apple Valley, Burnsville, and so on and so forth. Now, South Minneapolis, when they were making all those arrests and they shot 2 people in self-defense, I don't recognize anything now. I mean, it's a lot different. I'll bet Hennepin Avenue, the real dangerous area of Minneapolis, has got to be totally different. But still, I mean, I have an affinity for my state and people that I grew up with. I have former foster brothers that are dead and gone. They're deceased. One was killed in Lake Tacoma. He was doing pretty well back in 87, I believe it was. And I found out a year later in 88 that he had been killed because another boater smashed into the boat he and a couple of others were in, on Lake Tacoma. And anyway, but that being said, that's all. You're doing pretty well there, Jungle Garden. That's not bad at all. Only 3 years. I wish I could say that. If I said only 3 years, I'd be lying. So, you're doing great, man. Keep up the good work. Glad you got out of it before I did. But Anyway, so things going on, folks. I mean, something seems different on a spiritual level right now, and I don't know what's coming down. I don't know what's coming down, how it's going to come down, when it's going to come down, but like real, something really big, significant. And so I tried to check out conspiracy theories before going along with it and saying that it is, which a lot of them are. Um, Deb and I were victims of a conspiracy in Florida, in the Live Oak area in Swanee County. And so, that being said, anyway, I don't really, I'm kind of trying to look at the chat here, and oh wow, it's been over an hour and 11 minutes I've been on now that I look up. Yeah, typical message, isn't it, jungle jargon? I think you all know. So you're not the only one who can claim that, sheep up and ship out. Well, they've been arresting people off and on. Now, when they too, like, a mayor was arrested, and I'm always hoping it's either Mayor Greg Fry, Minneapolis, or Brandon Johnson of Chicago. And, it's always some smaller town. And that's good. They need to be arrested. Right? This no-name mayor needs to be arrested if he or she is doing wrong. Like that Boston, Massachusetts mayor, she's committing treason, making no parking zones, public parking zones or whatever for ICE. Her name is at the tip of my at the tip of my tongue. Oops, gosh. Yeah, Michelle Wu. Now she's a American-born citizen. You can't deport her. Also, though, she's making threats to homeowners and stuff and to people that have their own parking lots, their businesses, that if they let ICE and FBI and whatever park there, she's threatening them, and that is not supposed to be going on. Now, how is Michelle Wu such a big wig that Trump doesn't have the sack to do something about this? Don't get me wrong, folks. When I say take emergency powers, I don't say that lightly, and I'm not so sure President Trump would even handle it correctly. He could go way too far about it and affect us all in a way that we don't like. Um, so, again, I keep bringing this up. I mean, during the Biden-Harris administration, whomever was running it at the time, and I'm sure it was a number of people, anybody but Joseph Burnett Biden Jr., I mean, he shouldn't know. I wasn't running jack squat from what I could see. But they, back then, Attorney General Merrick Brian Garland and FBI Director Christopher Asher Ray, who was stupidly appointed by Donald Trump during his first term. I mean, they had no problem busting into people's homes at 4 to 6 in the morning, scaring and terrorizing little children just because their parents were somehow in with Trump, from his first term. They're still running around free too. Ray is an arrogant little SOB, even compared to his former boss, Merrick Brian Garland. Um, I just, but so I'm not counting on anything. I know better than to be doing that. I just put it in God's hand. Part of Donald Trump, do I think he's guilty of the Epstein files in the sense of being with minors? No, I don't think he did that. But then again, even though he wasn't really an insider back when he was a businessman, he was in enough to where he hobnobbed with them, had parties of his own, and he probably knew it was going on, and he did nothing to stop it. And now he's aiding and abetting by protecting some of his chomo billionaire buddies, like Leslie Herbert Wexner from Ohio, who's worth more money than Trump is. He takes money and campaign funds for whatever from whatever Congress person from Israel, the state of Israel, Miriam Adelson, given $100 million, and it's just, when is God going to, say enough is enough? I'm not God, and it gets frustrating because I think to myself, man, if I could do this or that, and I think, well, then again, my rebel years that makes Jungle Jargon's time look like candy, which makes that was a lot more than 3 years. He gave me a lot of grace. I'm guessing he gave Jargon and the rest of you a lot of grace. We're all sinners, and that'll go along with God will use good and evil people for His will. I know, yeah, my wife is right on that. That's another reason why we get our own food, where we're hopefully totally self-sufficient one day. We were over 90% of self-sufficient in Florida before we got hijacked. But God gave me a lot of grace, and I have to be patient. He's God, I'm not. I'm in His image in that, but I have a lot of flaws. I've sinned in my life to this moment. I'm not sinning at this moment, but you get it. So I try to just keep enduring Matthew 24:13, along with many other verses to back it up. And okay, back to my teeth situation. I will be having all of my teeth pulled on the 15th of September. I will try to do something. I probably won't be able to talk very much. I can do some videos exposing false doctrines and stuff from Christianity. I'm not going to do much on, if anything, really, on pagan religions, okay? I mean, that's just granted. My group, you people, are very good. You're very knowledgeable. You know that you don't go and practice Hinduism thinking you're going to get into the kingdom of God. It's not going to happen. We all know this. But maybe do some of that. I'll talk very minimally because that's what I'll have to do. And I'll expose some more stuff on the oral writings with my Jewish counterparts, and stuff like that. And we'll see how ridiculous my speech impediment will sound then, and how long it takes me to, get back up to par. I mean, it affects me now, missing so many teeth. Because I'm a critical reader, I'm advanced, and sometimes when you listen to me read, it doesn't sound like it. I can only imagine what it's going to be like for a while after that. Because I don't want to lose my crowd. I want to keep this going, and we get the truth out there. And that's why I keep asking you folks, please put my stuff out there. Maybe somebody else can sub. Maybe they can be woke up, and those who are awake, maybe they can help mature, and improve their walk. I want the Ruach HaKodesh and the Holy Spirit to work through me with that. In that. So, but rather than me Babylon, folks, if you guys don't have anything, I'm probably going to have to let you go. It's been almost 80 minutes. So, and I don't want to sit here and just make things up to stay in line. So, anyway, folks, let me check the chat one last time. I do kind of enjoy when people are chatting in here. Okay. It doesn't look like I have anything I can really respond to. So, folks, in the meantime, stay safe out there, stay in the guard. All right? It's dangerous out there. Rely on Elohim, rely on the Lord Jesus Christ, Yeshua HaMashiach. And have that connection with that protocol. The Father does want to have a relationship with you, and it's through his only begotten / unique Son, Yeshua. All right? Stand your guard. Keep your head on your swivels. So peace, shalom, and until the next time, hopefully tomorrow, Levite Man is out of here. Later.